Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Bigger Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are on your purpose. Hope you guys are conquesting yourself and everything around you. So God bless each and every one of you guys. Continue, warriors, or continue on. Continuing to not allow people, women and otherwise, to change your goals and where you're heading. So that's the main purpose. Be the best person you can become. Continue excellence and striving for excellence. Stay on your purpose. Stay on your goals. All right, so we're going to do some quick shout outs here, and then we'll get to our topic from Nicola Stuart. I like that. Nicole Stewart, Nicola. I was thinking maybe Nicola Stewart. So, Dre, D-R-E, thank you, my friend, for your comment. Haltestelle7 Reborned. We'll talk about coupling a little bit, or coupling, I think he's calling it. I'll have to go back and look at that. I'm not totally sure enough about that, so let me look at that and see. Brotherboldly in Christ, 21 days. Congratulations, keep it up. Cvato, thank you. TKO as always. Alvin, thank you. Jon the Dawn. Nicola Stuart, thank you. We'll talk about masculine women in a second. Mike Harrison, Satan is AI. I like that. I think you probably are right about that. I think Satan has his hands in a lot of different things and wanting to tempt us all the time. Charlie Chimp, pray to avoid wet dreams. I think it's a good idea. Praying is always an excellent type of option. I think the main thing is to keep your mind off of those type of things before you go to bed. There's less of a chance to have wet dreams. Optical Man, thank you, my friend. As always, awareness. It asked me how long. I think I'm all 1,200, almost over 1,200 days, something like that. I have it on my card, but I've lost count. I really don't track it, just because I think it's lifestyle is now inbred into me, and I think it's just going to be that way forever. Jennings, thank you. Sultan Iqbal, thank you, my friend. I messed that one up, so sorry about that. Sultan Iqbal. And Antonio, thank you guys. All right, so at the 2 minute 18 mark here, let's talk about Nicola Stuart had a comment and talking about masculine women and SR. Let's talk about this a little bit because I think this is a fascinating topic to look at. So first of all, the question has to be asked, how in the world did we end up getting from feminine women to masculine women? And so you have to kind of go back a little bit, and being 62 myself, I've had a lot of experience in looking at this perspective because I kind of lived through a lot of the perspective, especially back when I was a kid, back in the 60s and 70s and moving forward. There was a time where you didn't really have masculine women, whether it was weightlifting or any sort of type of idea out there that women had to be masculine. Well, this changed a lot, especially when you looked at the liberation movements of the 60s, and you had a lot of women who were obviously wanted to break away. We had the revolution itself. You had a lot of people with different ideas about how life was. They didn't want to follow the establishment, so there was a lot of breaking away in the late 60s, of course, and then the liberations for a lot of people who wanted to kind of do their own thing, and they felt like they were being held back. And so women in this case decided to, okay, we're going to get involved. We can just be as good as men. We don't need men, all that kind of stuff. And so ended up moving away from the traditional type of roles that they had, even though they didn't realize they had the power themselves. They always have the power in many ways because men are very much givers and they want to go ahead and give. And so women have that power. They're just been brainwashed now to lose all that power because they somehow want to kind of act like there's been problems, even though they've been part of the issue all these years. They don't want to accept that. And so part of the issue then becomes that over time, now you end up getting women who wanted to actually go ahead and act like men. Well, why is that? Well, you look at the whole situation and they felt like they didn't get paid enough, that they basically didn't have the same advantages as men. And I'm sure, obviously there was cases like that. But in an overall sense, what's happened is as they become men, and we look at society with images and all the things that we're dealing with SR, you now have men who are now becoming a lot more weaker, simpish, almost like feminine. And so your roles are flipping, and women who have decided, okay, we don't want these simpish men, they've had to become the aggressors and the masculine women. And now you have women who want to act like men. They don't have the testosterone levels. They don't have that, especially during SR. Women can use SR, and that's great, and they can do that, but they end up losing some of that testosterone every month, and they have the estrogen so during their period, so they don't actually have that sort of level. So there's no way that a woman's strength, masculinity is going to be the same as a man. Very rarely it's the case. It can happen once in a while, but it's very rare that that happens. And so when you look at the whole situation, you basically see a lot of women now, because you don't have a lot of strong men, they're having to act that way. And when you look at all these type of deviant behaviors out there, there's always has to be a person who's masculine and feminine. No matter if they're male, female, what? They always have to have one person who's that dominant person. And a lot of times now it's the females who are trying to take those roles over, because the other person is so weak and passive, they can't make decisions. They can't be that masculine male. And so a lot of males are suffering, but mainly because they have not learned how to be males. And so part of the issue we have here is the whole idea that masculine women are around because there's not a lot of males who are masculine. And that's where the problem really is. And so females have had to take those roles on, especially single moms who have kids, those type of things. They've taken those roles on. Now, do they have the level of protection? I just talked to a woman today who really wants to get married, and she's in her 30s, and she wants to have, and she's got one child, but she wants her dad. They want a dad. And then so part of it is that they need protection, security. A lot of women will admit they need security. They don't have the strength to fight off invaders and people robbing them and all kinds of people coming into their houses. They don't have that type of strength to do that. And it's just a matter of time. And so this is why the big fear is that they have to have some level of protection, which men can provide. And that's one of the things that masculine, high-level men do. They provide, they also protect. But without that, females have to do it themselves, and it's a very difficult thing. Not that they can't do it. I mean, they can learn ways to do it, of course. But the whole thing is, they're not as strong as males. And this is just a given fact that if you look at the average male and female, there's no comparison. Now, because of that, even though the society has been telling us, they're giving us movies of all these superheroes and how females are just as masculine as males, we know this is a bunch of nonsense. It's all kind of played up and hyped, and it really isn't the case. And a lot of females who believe that get shook up right away when they get into a athletic sport or something against a male. And you see this all the time when you're talking about females who try to play tennis or football or whatever it might be, basketball, and they see the huge difference in athletic ability. And so then they get kind of brought down back to earth and realize they've been brainwashed, like a lot of us has been, like including myself over the years, with this blue matrix of how males and females should be basically, females should be acting like males. Well, part of the problem is they shouldn't be. We have feminine energy, they have feminine energy in females, we have masculine energy, we both need that. And this is why males and females need each other. But if all of a sudden females become masculine, or try to be masculine, then the relationships are really hurt, and males don't need that. And this is why you see a lot of males going to this MGTOW movement, moving away from females because of the attitudes that females have. They're trying to act like men, even though they may not know they're doing this. They may sometimes know they're doing this, but basically what they're doing is acting like men. And because of that, the males are rejecting them. And you're seeing it all the time. And this is why a lot of females, especially as they are getting into those ages where they can't have more children or they're struggling to have children, they're looking for males, and they're struggling to find males who want to date them or even be with them. And the ones they find are very passive, and they may have relationships with them, but they really don't respect them. And they're still fantasizing about those males who are the real males, the masculine males. When you find a male out there now, guys, in our category, we're rare. This is why we're 1%. Because it's rare to find someone who has that level of strength and character and has their and has their seed and has their energy. You can't find that. This is why women will stare. And it doesn't matter what age you're talking about a 62-year-old guy here, and these young women are still looking and really kind of basically kind of flirting left and right. It's just amazing to me at this age, but it doesn't, if you think about it, it's not that amazing. It's just common sense. Women see when there's a male there that is a true male. And I think I can't emphasize this more. In our society, we have such a problem with males learning how to be males. A lot of times they don't have a father figure. A lot of times they're being brainwashed by whatever they see on television. And we've seen television and internet, all these things, who are de-emphasizing masculinity as some toxic thing. Well, you need masculine males. You need males who are going to be strong. And if that's toxic, well, the heck with those people, because you need that. And so never change that, warriors. You need to be strong. You need to be protective and provision. I don't care what this society is saying. This is needed. And we need more of that. And women recognize it. They recognize it. And they want that. I mean, they will chase you all over the place and want to be near you because of this energy and because of this attitude you have. And this is why we talk about masculine females. They will probably not like you. And I've seen this happen to me many times. If you run into a masculine woman who is acting masculine, oh, they're gonna have trouble with you, because you are the real deal. They're trying to fake it through because they basically don't have enough masculine males in their life. They have to be that masculine male. And so they're faking it through. You basically are the real deal. And that's why, warriors, you become so valuable. And this is why you have to have that level of self-control. It goes back to the self-control. It goes back to the ability to be able to lead people and to have that confidence in yourself and the strength to not be emotional, to be more stoic, and be able to recognize how important that is to be a leader in society. So as we talk about this, it's a great topic that Nicola, I think I'm saying this name, Stuart, brings up, and I appreciate that. So shout out to Nicola on this. I think it's really important to be able to recognize the fact that we need to have feminine women and masculine males. This is the way God has wanted us to be, and this is the way we need to act. And so when you see the opposite of those, you kind of cringe a little bit. It's going to happen. You're going to see it. This is what's happened in all these historical things. I'm actually in history. I've taken over a history class, and we're talking about Mesopotamia and the old Babylon, and talking about all the lascivious behaviors. All these civilizations had the same problem. I don't care if it's the Incas. I don't care if it's the Mayas. I don't care if it's the Tudors. All these individuals had the same thing, where once the males got too demasculized, I don't know if that's a word, but demasculized, then the society was lost. And this is why we've got to keep as many wars as we can strong and be ready for battle all the time, because you never know when Satan is around the corner. Whether it's AI, as someone mentioned in our shout-outs, or something else, Satan is always around, and we need to understand that and keep protecting our towns, our cities, our families, our country, and providing that leadership that's needed. And I can't emphasize that more, warriors, that we need to do that. All right. Well, again, Nicola, thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. A good topic for today. Masculine women and SR. And it's important to recognize that you need to be able to deal with those masculine women, but don't change who you are. Be yourself. Continue to conquest. And that person may not like you. Not all people will. But don't let it bother you. Continue on your goals. Don't focus on the negativity. Focus on achieving. And don't give contact to people when they're not going to help you achieve your goals. And that includes women and everybody else included. All right. Have a good night, my friends. Once again, leaving you with two things. One, every day is a new day to a great warrior. And secondly, we've got to continue to battle